Hey, beautiful. How you doing? It's good to see you this Saturday morning. I'm just going to put this link in my other social media. How you been? I hope you've been well. I caught myself trying to be sneaky, but I actually have something for you, incidentally. You specifically. Got too many doggone devices. I don't know if you're here for this subject matter. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. I've been missing your videos, but at the same time, I've been missing everybody's videos because life is what it is. And I probably don't need to tell you that. You probably know that better as well as anybody. You've been having asthma issues? Well, I know you're nursing yourself like you ought to be, like you should be, because you got to take care of you, unless you won't be able to take care of all the other people that you're taking care of in your life, which is pretty much everybody with your maternal self. So beautiful, beautiful maternal self. I was just going to start out. This is actually, you know, the grown talk sesh, but everybody's always welcome. You know, everybody open-minded, grown folks, that is. Oh, no. Well, if you're holding on by a string, make sure it's a hemp string, because that's durable. That's a durable string right there. That hemp string. And you'll be all right, because you know who got the other end of your string that you hanging on to? Yeah. You want a guy's peep, girl. You want a guy's peephole. But that doesn't make the journey any less complicated. I know that. I know that. And I always remind people when I'm giving all the good and spiritual and positive and uplifting energy, I always let people know that I know that does not make it any easier just because you know your foundation is sturdy. We still got to go through it. I know people think that just because I talk a bunch of shit that I don't go through it too, or that I at the very least can't relate to or understand that it's not a cakewalk. That's how it is. Indeed. And I used to talk a lot of shit about people that go on all these journeys for different things, because it's always surrounded by stuff that seems to be petty, but you know, those different things are a journey for different people. You know, people change their hair, it is a journey for them, because it enlightens or awakens them to other stuff that they weren't, you know. So as I grow my damn self, I need to have a lot more compassion for things like that. But on the other hand, my compassion is so, well, you know, tough love. So I'm just like, girl, your strands of hair is, you know, that's not where it begins, and it's not where it ends. Not remotely. Not remotely. But then at the end of the day, it always sounds like I'm pissing on people's parades. And that's because the truth ain't, it is a hard pill to swallow. It's a hard pill to swallow. So that's just what it is. I don't have any daintier way of delivering it. I don't have any tact or diplomacy with my delivery. So there you be. I was going to talk about, well, since I can, I was going to start out talking about how I knew, because people knew I knew, because I said it as it was happening, but how that's especially in our era right now, where it's winning times for sociopaths. People are unable to handle the truth. Yeah, but I was going to, in fact, speaking of the truth, I was going to talk about how I knew that the LaQuan trial would end the way that it did, that the officer would be convicted, and how I also knew that Kavanaugh would be, that every effort would be put forth to get him pushed through. It's really, you know, it's getting to the point where a lot of things that people think are clairvoyant on my part, although I do have some clairvoyancy, a lot of it is common sense, or that truth that people don't want to handle or hear. You know, they choose to, you know, it's more comfortable. Cognitive dissonance is a hell of a drug, but it's more comfortable for them not to see it. So, this is one of those cases where it wasn't clairvoyancy. I don't know why I was going to like that thing. Where it's not clairvoyancy so much as it's common sense. Excuse me, you know what that is. But it's not so much clairvoyancy as it is common sense. And so my theory was that as far on this LaQuan and Kavanaugh situation, and then I'm going to, you know, go back to my Q&A sesh situation. I knew that the LaQuan's murderer would be convicted. And I also knew that the push for Kavanaugh would go through. Two things. Oh, you better keep the truth to yourself, because they gonna write you off as crazy, a conspiracy theorist. Oh, and I know you're a Christian too, a real Christian. So your fellow Christians will definitely write you off at that point as a non-believer, which is ironic, because the thing is, you believing what's actually right there in your face, and nobody else wants to see that. You know what I mean? I don't even know what to say about the world. Right. Crazy conspiracy theories. It really makes me rethink all the things that we were told about our, I don't want to say just ancestors, because it was the people after that, like our grandparents. You know, every now and then you have an old person, they'd be like, oh, that old person doing too much. You know, they too extreme or too militant, or they think everybody, the government after them, all this stuff. Well, I don't want to say old enough, because there are a lot of people our age. Y'all don't have to tell you that. I don't have to tell you. But you get wiser, and you're like, well, what if they're crazy, then why was it important that they didn't tell us these things? You know what I mean? Like, I was talking to the other day, and I was saying, you know, I got kind of relaxed, let's just say. And so I was talking about, you know, all the old people, like even black people that didn't want their kids dating interracially, and you assume it's because on the surface, like you go on YouTube and you can see interracial couples and everybody's like, oh, you the white man and all that stuff, and they're just going off rhetoric. But when people's grandparents used to say that, they didn't just say that just because they hated white people, but they did cast a broad blanket and didn't trust them, and they didn't want their children dating them, not because they didn't trust, well, it is because they didn't trust them, but not because they didn't like white people, but because they were so concerned for their son or daughter. And it's not that they didn't believe that their son or daughter could not be in love with a person of another race. It was because they knew that if anything should go down in a society that's uncomfortable with that relationship, that your son or daughter is then in danger. It is in dire danger. And even if that their white spouse or boyfriend, whoever, loves them with every bone in their body, that one person, that one colonizer that loves you so much is not going to be able to stand up to everyone who wants to come for you. One person can't do it. So it's not to say, and I think about that, like if I had a child and that child was dating a white person, I would support their relationship because they're grown and they can make that decision. But I would be terrified every day that they could go out and be having a lovey-dovey good-ass time and stuff go down, and particularly in this era, not because there's more of it happening, but because there's more of it exposed. And how many of us go down is a hashtag. I'm just saying. Those old people knew what could happen, you know, just like millennials right now. And I get it, because I'm not that person. I wouldn't have made it as a slave. But when old people, you know, they think of black people in the South and how but as Southerners, hunker down when they see police or white people, you know, yes ma'am, no sir, officers, no. That to them, that's like submissiveness. And that actually does exasperate racism or what have you, but it's survival at the end of the day. They're surviving so that they can protest tomorrow. You know? Right. I wouldn't have made it. But the reality is, our elders that millennials think are just being weak and submissive, they're surviving. Because I'm sure that they know, related to, or have seen a lot of brave black people that they, you know, yeah, I marched with people. I saw, you know, they saw this person and that person. I saw 4 people get killed, and that was my breaking point. I was like, you know what? Yes, sir. No, sir. What can I do? You know, just like I tell people, I was like, the reality is, I was laughing a few minutes ago because they are saturating the airwaves with Papa John's commercials today, girl. Papa John's needs some pizza purchases, all right? So I've been watching these Papa John's commercials just come over on and repeatedly, and I'm listening to them because the TV's on the background, and I'm like, man, he used every color of Benetton to sell that pizza in that commercial. I was like, I hear a black person, I hear an Asian person. I was like, I think this other dude that's saying he's the other face of Papa John, I think he's a Latino dude. I was like, boy, he's getting real thirsty. And that's okay though, because, you know, I'm of the belief that if a person has a business, they really do have the right to be racist within that business. You have a right to decide that you don't want to serve or respect me as a patron, but let me know that so I don't spend money with you. That's all. That's all. And we can't boycott everything. It's something right now that I purchased from an entity that I should not purchase. We all have something. We all have something we can't give up. But I need your mailing address. Well, you know what this is. It's a sesh. I We need to. Girl, yes. We need some stuff. There's some people that got the monopoly on stuff. And I think about that the reality is Starbucks is easy for me to boycott. But it's a lot of people that are addicted to Starbucks. And it's not worth the sellout for them at the moment. I'm just saying. It's easy for me to boycott. Right now. Oh, this is what we're going through right now. I heard about Ice Mountain and all their drama. You know, they affiliated with Nestle and it was big enough. But you know, some people are addicted. Everybody was joking about people being literally addicted to Starbucks before this went down. What makes them think those people aren't still literally chemically dependent on whatever they put in that specific coffee? Because it's not beyond them to have had put something in the coffee when they first created Starbucks. To make so many people draw to it. To make it to where even though it's one on every corner that everybody needs their Starbucks. Specific brand Starbucks. That means there's something in there. Nobody wants to see stuff like that, obvious stuff like that. You know, people just throw it out. You know, oh, you know, Coke used to use real cocaine in their soda. Yeah, how do you know they still don't? And number two, and number one, you know that now when everybody was drinking it and loving it and addicted to it openly, nobody even fathomed, right? Nobody would even fathom that there was cocaine in Coca-Cola. Now people are like, you know they used to put real cocaine in Coke and they made them stop, right? Like they knew that the whole time. You didn't know it the whole time. And believe me, one of those people that they thought was an extremist that was telling them they putting drugs in that soda, y'all. And people was like, it's soda. People were like, it's soda. Because there are some things right now that I could tell people about, but they'll be like, come on, girl, you're doing too much. I know, because I know some vegans that do too much, like for real do too much. Not like what I'm talking about, but they be for real too. But I know people, that's how they would feel about me saying that. You know what I mean? Just like, well, I'm going to edit that out, so I don't know we don't say who that is. But I know she used to say about, she's a multi-level market person. And she used to say to not eat bread because they made it with bleach. And they might actually make it with bleach. I don't know. Because I don't put nothing past this country. But she was saying you can't eat white bread, you know. So she just stopped eating white bread. But not only does she stop doing something, she looks at you like, you just... Like vegans look at meat eaters, extremists. And I'm like, they got something in everything. People are like, oh, be vegan, it's healthier for you. It is healthier for you, but you think we haven't had vegetables contaminated with stuff? Where people have said, remember tomatoes? Oh, you can't get chives this time of year. Vegetable attacks have taken out Chipotles altogether. Nothing's safe. I don't even know what to say about this whole world. Yeah, see? But, I mean, it's not going to stop people from eating white bread. And it's funny while we're talking about coffee. Coffee is one of the things that, her things that she got into selling, which is interesting because prior to that, she was selling something else that was part of the health benefits of it was to deplete the bad effects of caffeine, right? So caffeine's bad for you. So then one of the things she ends up selling is the coffees and teas. And I'm sitting there waiting to see how does this fall in line with what you had said before about the other thing. Because now you selling actual coffee and tea. It's too much. It's too much. And then you go and look at some old people that trigger your questions about how our ancestors really did survive. And people was living to 80 and 90 and 100. They have pictures of 100-year-old slaves without a doctor, without a physician, without a government-sanctioned person that has been educated and licensed as a physician. And the ancestors and the old tribal people, whoever, went into the doggone woods and got a certain plant and they put it on it or they made a tea out of it, and nobody's curious about that. It's unbelievable. But yeah, back to that thing I never did get to. Everything should make people think. There are so many questions. There are so many questions to be asked about literally everything. Even how we were conditioned to build a family unit. Everything. What people are taught to value. And now it's just translated into just shallow stuff that don't matter. You know, things. And I, for one, have an appreciation for things. I have such an appreciation for things that it makes me appreciate people who appreciate the smallest of things the most. I love seeing when you have like just a simple thing, appreciation. There's a difference between appreciating small, valuable, pricelessly valuable things and thirsting for material and financial gain. Yeah. That's complicated. People don't understand that. It don't even register. I'm drawn to it, but I'm an eyeball. But I'm drawn to it. I was just saying, you know, keeps posting these pictures. Like he'll post, and not just there's a whole breed of people that'll post something with a girl that have on no makeup and then extreme makeup, and then the last time he posted with a chick that had no makeup and her hair was her hair had come all out and it wasn't healthy. Maybe I'm guessing she had alopecia, but anyway, it was a picture like that, and then it was after picture with makeup and stuff. And I always come through those posts and I always say she's beautiful both ways depending on what kind of human she is. I always want people I know, because I know people are gonna. So he posted with the caption that says "Take her swimming, fellas," you know, because they're like, all this makeup is a trick. And although I get the point, you know, I gotta come and piss on the parade. So I come and piss on the parade of shaming this chick who clearly has alopecia or some kind of lack in wellness that's causing her hair to have fallen out. And we're gonna shame her for looking that drastically different. That was the point. The point of her putting on all that makeup and the wig and stuff is so that she would feel, you know, more comfortable with herself. Now, I don't appreciate people valuing themselves by how they look, but in situations like that, you know, people are gonna want. Everybody's not built like me. I'm actually a strong person in my mind, and so yeah, I can see her wanting and needing to do that. But I get their point. It was just a little fun, lighthearted thing between, I want to say fellas, but everybody, because there were women going, you know, doing the same thing, participating. But I'm like, these are the same people that are going to let somebody in their life that means them no good and then wonder how. How did I befriend that person, or how did I trust that person had my best interest at heart? Or even if they are affiliated with the person, at least they know where they're coming from or how much they really care or not. People look at people, and it's with me, people really do get ugly or cute according to how they are morally. Like that, honestly, legitimately, like I'm the only person, Mr. included, I'm the only person I know who that's real. Even though they teach us that in school, they teach us that in homes and values. It's like, it's not what you look like, it's what's on the inside. But everything else you're given tells you the opposite. Everything. But quite honestly, when I saw that girl with her head plugs and no makeup on, nose all flared and stuff, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, what if she's the sweetest girl in the world? She would give everybody in this comment thread that's talking shit about her, what if she would give them the shirt off her back? And what if they knew that before they made the comment? Because I think if they knew that amongst themselves, they would be like, oh, you know, Brenda. Oh, yeah, I know Brenda. She always be out at the rec center helping for the, you know, feeding the homeless and stuff. And she'd be there for the kids. You know what I mean? So I was like, what if that bald-headed, bare-faced, acne chick, it was Brenda? So I look at her, and that's one way. You know, people say I don't give people the benefit of the doubt. And I guess I don't. But because to me, if I don't, they've shown me something where I don't need to take no chances with this MF. But when it comes to looks only, like physical appearance, I'm going to start coming back with that. Because I give people the whole ass benefit of the doubt with looks. Not like what they choose to wear. Like some dudes choosing to wear pimp gear. That's a choice. That's still a reflection of his character, and I'm not here for it. But if somebody has a certain look that somebody, like people would think that I would think they're ugly. And I can look at them, and if I see their spirit and it's genuine, they're just so pretty to me. So pretty. And then quite the opposite with Halle Berry, for instance. Like she's not even a little cute. But I'm not crazy. I mean, I'm not blind. I can see how the average person would think that she's beautiful physically. And so whenever I do address someone like that, I say, oh, this person, I was like, oh, she's really physically beautiful. I'll stick physical, right. I'll stick physical in there until I see something else. And I only do that because otherwise it'll be a whole conversation with me and a regular human about how she's physically pretty to me, but that's it. And I mean, really even visually, she's not pretty until I learn that she's a pretty human being. You know what I mean? She's just not pretty to me. And in fact, she's ugly if it's an ugly part. It's just, I want to say I can't explain it, but I don't need to, because everybody is taught that. Everybody is taught that on the surface. Verbally. Everybody's orally taught. I'll use orally. Everybody's orally taught that. But in what they're shown, which is what's supposed to matter, right? When someone shows you who they are, believe them. But what's shown in terms of educating people on what to pick is completely different lesson. No wonder kids, I'm just realizing that. No wonder kids are messed up even before they get to adolescence. And so definitely from adolescence to young adult, which I call amateur adulthood. Of course they screwed up, but people are showing, even if the parents are good, they're being shown all over the world, really to actually do the opposite of what everyone is taught. Because the people teaching them did it. They did the opposite as well. It's a confusing, I think I'm an alien, because I know how humans think, but I can't relate to not having that moral grounding that we're taught to have orally. In school, from our parents, orally. Because even some parents that tell you orally the right thing, they still live in a whole opposite lesson for you. So much so that everybody says, oh, well, it's just something that happens. Everybody goes through it. But does everybody have to go through it? Can someone look at everybody else going through it and say, I don't want to do that? Yeah, can somebody say, I don't want to do that, so I'm going to choose not to? And it's almost like people seem like it will pull from them emotionally if they choose not to. That don't even make sense. If you can choose not to. But that's my whole point when I be low-key preaching. Everybody can choose not to. Everybody can choose not to. There was another guy posted something about how men mistreating women, and when they're the queens, they should respect women, and which is all true, all valid. And here I come, pissing on the parade. Because my thing is, they were preaching to the men about treating, it's a guy who posts gentlemanly posts for the most part, but you're preaching to this guy about mistreating women, and he is, so effing for that. But this female is wearing the crown. See what I did there? The POV? But this female is wearing the crown, so she gets to call the shots. And she can say, I don't want to say he's not enough for me, because I don't want to put him down in the process. A queen doesn't need to do that. But she can say he's not enough, or it's not beneficial for me, so I'm not going to do this. Much less, I'm not going to do this with him. And there's no love lost, no hard feelings on your part, which probably make him feel even more like he really lost out. Because you like, there's no hard feelings. I need to do what's best for me. And you're not it. So why can't that chick say that? Just like the guy can mistreat or whatever. Because I'm telling you, if every female would shut a dude down based on his character, there wouldn't be no fuckboys. There wouldn't be any. And even if there was some that couldn't help themselves, it was like a mental imbalance where they had to be that fuckboy. Boy, they would be going to rehab to try to get out of that mentality so they could find a good woman. Because these good women are not giving me no play, and that's what I need to not end up dead or in jail. But I can't get it by being a fuckboy, so I need to do what I need to do to get with one of these great women. But it's too many female. Like, we have so much power. People talk about women's empowerment and all that. And then they turn around and deal with them like they're victims and they don't have a choice. Like, which is it? Are you a victim or are you empowered? Because if the same thing happens to you again, you will have that support of feminist extremism. See, I'm here for women's empowerment, but my problem with it is that every time I hear it, it's very often not genuinely women's empowerment. It's people making each other, it's some females making each other feel better about their own screwed up decisions. Because we all go through it. Again, with the believing that. Why can't, if I'm going to help somebody and I've been through it, why can't I say, I fucked up. I really made a self-destructive decision when I dealt with that dude. You know. Or it might not even been self-destructive, it just it wasn't a good fit. And I noticed it and moved on. It was that simple. But it was a decision I made. Nobody dates at gunpoint. And I'm not at all victimizing victims in this case. Because they are indeed victims. Because screw the predator. Okay, that seeks it out. But at the end of the day, nobody dates at gunpoint. And once you get in a relationship and you can't leave, yeah, you can't leave. You stuck. And that is hard, and that makes you a victim at that point. But my point is that nobody dates at gunpoint. And I know it seems like people can change, and people can change. But in a lot of cases, people ain't changing. Or, you know, it's just very often something people chose not to see. But as far as this world and what's going on right now, in terms of current events, I knew that the LaQuan's murderer would be convicted because it was on the same day of the Kavanaugh trials. Yeah, nobody. You got options. Mad options. And you can say no. I'm not talking about rape. You know what I'm saying. But you can say no. I can't even tell you dudes. First of all, it took them a long time to get me to meet them for lunch because I wouldn't. But one little thing could go wrong and they felt like I didn't give it a chance. No, that's all I need to know. I'm not even mad. A couple of people didn't get past the actual lunch date. There was one guy, he answered his cell phone. And it took him 4 months to get me to meet him for lunch, but he answered his cell phone. Now, to be fair to the regular humans, they probably say, oh, that's doing too much. That is doing a lot on my part. And it's really not fair. He could have been a good guy. You know what I mean? But my thing is, it took him 4 months to get me to go out on a date. And then you got a cell phone call. And I understand people got families and emergencies, but this dude was having a business call, and I was like, you too important for me to be dating. Nope. I can't do that. I'd walk off the dance floor with guys with their cell phones because I'm like, you asked me to dance, I agreed to dance, which in itself is a feat, believe it. When we get on the dance floor and you answer a phone call, you too important. You too important to where you gotta stop dancing. Well, not stop dancing, answer the phone on the dance floor. No, sir. There was another dude looking for reasons not to tip the waitress before we even ordered appetizers. Like, why are you... Okay, so I met him there. I went in and sat down. And he's already complaining. I literally asked in the seat. And he starts complaining. I was like, oh, this is what we doing? He already trying to find ways not to tip the waitress. Right? I was like, oh, wow. And then, so he said 2 more things. And he said, well, she's not getting a tip. Just as... It was obvious. It wasn't even played up. It's just like typical textbook looking to see. Right. That's why I said people got families. If they got children on the other end, the other phone, even if it's his baby mama. You know what I mean? People have emergency. He might be, his parents might live with him. You know what I mean? He got to handle that business. I understand, but no, this was some, and between me and you, I don't even think it was a real business call. I think he wanted to sound important. Little did he know, I'm the last one to be impressed by your annual income. And that's another reason I've gotten rid of dudes, because all they was talking about was they annual income, their job, and like in a sense of how much money they make, you know. And I already know what people's impression of me was back then, because I look snooty. And I kind of was snooty, I guess, but I was snooty because I was particular with the company I keep, not because you have to make a certain amount of money, you know. I even heard a dude that was, I don't want to say he wasn't a friend of mine, but he saw me regularly. And he was telling me what some guy said, that I was looking for a 6-figure nigga. That was the first time I ever heard of that. I was like, really? That's what I'm doing? Okay. But I know he wasn't, that wasn't a random assessment. A lot of people feel that way felt that way about me. But, you know, when people know you, they know you. And when you grow all the way up, what people think they know about you and what they know about you is like 2 whole different things. And it just becomes entertaining to me. Sometimes I'll agree with people. And they heard some old crazy stuff. I'll be like, you know what? Yes, they don't know what to do with that. They said you was a bitch and they was like, they said that? Oh my God. I did not think somebody knew me that well. I guess they know me better than I thought they did. Especially if it's ridiculous. If it's something ridiculous. And they assess that about me because I'm quiet. But what they don't know is I'm quiet around them. And them crazy assessments are exactly why I'm quiet around them. You don't talk around the people. And if you did, it would hurt them anyway. Because why? What did we learn? That the truth hurts. The truth is so uncomfortable to people. And when I go and I have to show up with them all odd comments, people always have to come, a hit dog or holler. So people that feel a different way so strongly. Because, you know, in my comments, a lot of time I'll say, but that's just me. Or I'm the eyeball or whatever. Right. And girl, it's the art of listening to everything that everyone doesn't say. And that might be what people perceive as clairvoyancy. It's not clairvoyancy. I'm listening to everything that is not said. So you can foresee. You really can't foresee what people are going to do or going to say. Sometimes if I you know, sometimes I got time. So if I have time to play with a millennial's head, I'll come back sometimes, you know, somebody that had to at me. And I'll be like, girl, I'm okay if you feel that way. I'm all right with you thinking a different thing than I do, you know. And I'm thinking to myself, that just explains your choices. That just makes your choices make sense. No wonder those things happen, you know, for you in that way. But And I let them know, it's not just you. It's not just you. I'm okay that you feel that way. And you're not alone. There are like 99% of the rest of the world that is on the same page. Always hear what's not said. Because you know there's volumes of information and data. And emoting, would you believe, in what is left unsaid. Both deliberately and subconsciously. You know, that's where the cliche stems from. There's his one story and another side of the story, and then there's the truth. That's where that comes from. Because even a well-meaning person will retell a story to where they don't sound like the bad guy. You know? We've all done that. But you know when it's done low-key, deliberately, or facetiously, which are two different things, it's so many different elements to perceive within what people do and say. And how they respond to different things. You know, I had somebody, a guy come back, and he was like, when in that post about the relationships, he came back and he was like, most shitty people don't start out shitty. Yes, and I want to say yes they do, but I know to most people, they feel like that. But shitty people start out shitty. You just chose not to look at how they responded to certain things because they was popular, because they had money, they was a celebrity, because they were talented. Everybody is killing me talking about they want the old Kanye back. Like, he ain't the same Kanye he been from day one. And people are like, oh, he hasn't been the same since he lost his mother. No, he probably hasn't. Who would be when you lose your mother? But guess what? He was this same dude before Donda died. Donda created him. And people are like, I want the old Kanye back. What old Kanye? And he was talented when he was doing all that too. Guess what? He's still talented. Even with all this crazy stuff that he's doing, he's still talented. And I'm still not a fan. People think talent alone is the excuse. Or getting money. You know how they say. Tell people, get that money, girl. Or at least secure the bag, which is important. It's important to secure the bag. We all got to survive. And we would all rather do so comfortably. I don't discount the value of the bag in the bag. But people just dismiss everything because someone's talented or popular. Until it gets comfortable for them to speak up. People hashtag and Me Too and Time's Up and whatnot. But I bet you that preacher that felt up Ariana Grande in front of millions and millions of people at Aretha Franklin's funeral still has a full congregation. Again, the chick, I won't describe her because I described her already and I don't want to have to edit it out. But the chick I described earlier with the coffee, that chick literally said, let me gather myself. She literally said, I learned that she was one of those, I'm not surprised, but it still shook me. She was one of the chicks that said, why would it take 30 years for her to come forward? He's like, I'm not saying he didn't do it, he wouldn't do something like that, but why would somebody wait 30 years she basically insinuated that nobody would wait that long if something like that happened to them. And it was so, I immediately put my earbuds in. I was done with the conversation. But it was so bad that I'm watching her and his dad actually try to explain to her, you know, there's a lot of reasons why people would be uncomfortable with coming forward with something like that. And they start walking her through it. Like I said, I wasn't listening because I put my earbuds in. But I'm listening to who is amazing as a man. We both know that. But his dad, who is, by the way, misogynistic because he's a 70s dad. That's how they are, you know. And our mom's gonna be there to cater to him and what have you. He's one of those dudes. But I'm watching that dude tell her, like, no, like, what are you saying right now? And she's over 50. I was like, and I was sitting there like, I don't know how I would feel right now. I was just trying to imagine, what if she had a daughter? If she had a daughter, I would right now feel so traumatized for that girl. Because I look at those females and I look at their daughters. I saw this conservative female the other day, and she had her daughters with, both of them were teenagers. One looked like she was probably about 13. The other one looked like she was probably 17, 18. And she was saying, boys, she's like, groping, are you serious? Boys do that all the time. You know, that's something boys do. And then her daughters were nodding, yeah, that's true, right? And I was sitting there like, I was like, one, if not both of her daughters right now has already been assaulted. And will definitely be again, if not by her own boyfriend. I mean, not that I wanted to put that on them at all. But I was just assessing this in my mind. And I was like, and those daughters are not going to feel comfortable coming forward. I'm like, and I'm using that as an example, saying to this female, a relative, that this is why they won't come forward. You know what I mean? There's a reason right there why a person won't come forward for 30 years. Because they had a mother who their own mother was the type not to believe them over the rapist. And so I was just, I'm just going to have to really build up my friendliness next time I encounter her, because I'm going to always have that in my mind. But then again, she is she has a susceptible personality. Oatmeal. I'm trying to do right. I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to do the right thing. Because I got munchies, clearly, but, you know, I try to, and that's a good thing about it. The thing is, when you got munchies, you got control over it. Like, I can choose to eat something better and still enjoy it. So the oatmeal is still very, very good. But no, we have people that's telling kids all kinds of stuff. There are people telling kids, you don't need a plan B. You go with plan A and follow your dream no matter what anyone says. And I get encouraging the kids, but that's part of what the issue is with millennial mindset entitlement now. You know, everybody's teaching, everybody doesn't win. And kids need to know that everybody can be a winner. So continue, I'm for that message. I'm a proponent of that. Everyone can be a winner. But the reality and real world, which kids have on the virtue of not being able to separate reality, which is why it's so easy for them to shoot up stuff. It's so easy for them to commit suicide. It's so easy for them to do these things that are just on the brink of virtual reality with the consumption of internet interaction. But, you know, they're telling them follow your dreams and everything, but you don't need a plan B. There is no plan B because you're going to make it. Confidence is important. But if you don't stop telling these kids not to have a plan B, because what in this world, right now, in this era, and every era, there's a proponent of things not turning out like you anticipated. So why is plan B, and me saying have a plan B doesn't mean don't strive for your dreams and goals. It doesn't mean throw plan A out of the window. It just means you'll be better prepared at the very least if all the things in the world don't go your way and something happens. Otherwise, what you gonna do emotionally? You've been convinced all you need is a plan A. And plan A slaps you in the face and you have no plan B. Where does that leave someone emotionally? Why do you think we're all everybody talk about mental health? We all have mental issues. We're all enduring depression. Every last one of us. And I was going to do a video on that but it was going to make me seem both sensitive and insensitive, which I always seem anyway. But it was just to say that all of us are enduring mental health. Everyone has PTSD. Everybody has multiple struggles. Everyone's wrestling multiple monsters. And that's not to say anyone is less important than another one's, or more important than another one's. But we can't all put our stuff aside to cater to everyone or even someone else's stuff while ours is still disrupted. And since everybody, right, absolutely. And since everybody has a mental struggle happening, it's only ideal that we all adult up and deal with them ourselves without even expecting other people to tip over. I guess I'm preaching to the choir right now. I'm talking to myself. So I don't expect people to put their stuff aside from me. I figure everybody's got something they're struggling with. You know, because sometimes I'll get friends and family that'll, want to just call and talk, but I'm not going to ever share any issues with them because I know they have their own issues. But on the other hand, that's the beauty of it, being able to share them with people you love and people who love you. But I don't know, I'm not that chick, but internalizing is unhealthy. Internalizing is unhealthy as well. See, like I said, I seem sensitive and insensitive. I just jump back and forth on both sides. Balance, I guess. We all got to deal with whatever our depression or struggles or multiple struggles are, and can't expect for other people to tiptoe over them. At the same time, just because everybody has mental health issues does not pardon shitty behavior, like the government does with the domestic terrorists. you know, a lone wolf, or, you know, had childhood struggles or emotional distress or whatever. Well, guess what? 99%, if not 100, of those people that you, of those black men that you have in prison that are actual criminals now, actual committed to crime, they're having mental issues. So should we give them the lesser, should they get a lesser sentencing? You know, should we just send them to therapy, rehab? Yeah. And that's something else that I get concerned with children too, and not coming forward to be truly available, and not coming forward, because really, even if victims come forward, how long will their support system last? Just like I was saying about that dude that built up Ariana Grande, like those people were, everyone was up in arms for about 48 hours. You know, and there were even a couple people said, why didn't she say something? She should have said something. Well, she had a lot of things going on. She was at a black legendary singer. She's in the singing industry. And she had a black legendary singer's funeral. All these black people are around. She would definitely be causing a scene. And she was in victim mode. She didn't take it to see, she didn't see that there were some people that would be like, well, he shouldn't have did that at her funeral. You know, it's not you disrupting a funeral because you're offended by being groped. How about he shouldn't have did it at a legendary artist's funeral? That was his doing. Again, we're deflecting responsibility onto the victim. Or she shouldn't have been wearing that dress. Like, really, miss me with it. Right after that, they had something going around. It was viral for a day. That's it. This lady had went up in church and said, you know, she was telling them the preacher took her in the basement and blah, blah, blah. So as she was talking, a deacon came on. Each arm came and grabbed each of her arms. And that was so symbolic to me. I was like, that is a perfect representation of how it works. Because everybody looks at the predator. And I do too. Because they gotta go down. But I also look at the enablers. And that's where I don't really get no amen corner. Because I'm looking at the first thing I did when I saw that dude that felt up Ariana Grande, I went to go to look at his church's site to see what his wife looked like. Because the first thing I said, who has been letting this happen? Because this ain't his first time at the rodeo. And I was like, I want to see what the female looks like that's been letting this happen. I was like, I bet you any amount of money they call her first lady. I bet you any amount of money they call her first lady. She looked like a groupie type chick that would be hanging out after the game to get her athlete or whatever. So actually, in my mind, I created this whole scenario. Might be nothing, ounce of truth to it. I created a whole scenario when I looked at her. She got this real cute short haircut. It's kind of feathered to the side. It's real cute. She's she's a fair-skinned black sister. Well, I ain't gonna call, she ain't no sister mine. A female. And these pictures of her, like, you know, sitting in their car. I guess she's driving and going somewhere. I guess she's flexing in the car or whatever. And I was like, and people don't get that no credit. It's a whole different level of groupie, like with the chicks that want to be with the male staff of the church. Well, you know how that works. But yeah, she looked like she maneuvered her way into the first lady chair successfully. I don't mean that facetiously, I mean successfully. She just maneuvered her way into that chair and did what she did, and that's fine if that's how she chooses to live. I don't never have no problem with that. If that's how people do, and if he's going for it, and if they happy with that, that's fine. But when they start bringing children into the world, and that child is gonna get that same age of a person that you filling up right now, and he felt like saying, "Oh, my daughter told you were coming," and whatever. First of all, he didn't even make up that joke. I saw that joke on the internet I don't know how many times about Ariana Grande. I thought you were something on the Taco Bell menu. That was sexist and racist. While you were filling her up. I wanted to fight him. I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to fight him. I wanted to fight him for every female in his congregation. Because that's another thing that I think about. When women come forward like that, I think of the other women. Not just other women in general, but the other actual women that they actually got that wouldn't be popular. The women that aren't on no kind of political forum. The women that might live in a trailer park. But they didn't know when they was in college that they was going to be living in a trailer park. So he didn't have no discretion with who he raped in college. So it's some other female. So when I saw that preacher do that to Ariana, I was thinking about all the sisters in his congregation and wondering how many females in his congregation was going, he's done that to me too. And I thought I was, reading too much into it. I'm glad everybody else can see that. But guess what? Those girls don't have no support. because everybody done forgot all about it. He knew all he had to do was lay low for a week. He turned his Instagram page off for like probably 2 days, maybe 3 days, and then he was back at it. Yeah, I wonder how many other females in that congregation were like, we're like, ooh, good. Now he's been exposed, but little did they know that all that support was gonna fade out in a day or two. But he knows, the predator knows, and the people that enable the predator know. His wife knows. And if his daughter didn't know before, now she does. I don't think, I'm not putting incest on him or anything like that. I don't know that he would do something like that with his own daughter. I ain't gonna lie, I don't put it past someone that would do that to anybody's daughter. So I wouldn't put it past him. But I also wouldn't accuse someone of something like that I haven't seen with my own eyes. Which is sad for the daughter if she has, because then everybody's like me. They're like, well, I can't put, that's a heavy accusation. Really heavy. And, you can mess up his whole life if he didn't do something like that. But I wouldn't put it past a guy that would mess with females that young. Because she's a young lady. She's a grown woman, but I wouldn't put it past him. It's people so kind of like the feminists. They're in one breath. They support you in the name of women's empowerment because you're the victim. And in the other breath, on the same women's empowerment tip, you have the power. And you have the choice. But that's balanced with everything. And I think that's what humans, and I say that as an obvious alien, I think that balance is something that humans will always be lacking. Everybody has to be extremists in whatever we think. Whatever we think is right. Vegans just think you're just poisoning yourself if you're eating meat. People that eat what they want, we are addicted to sugars and salts and sodiums or whatever. Man-made ones, Feminists doing too much. They want to be on their own and do their own thing. Well, guess what? Some areas, it pays to be the female. But, if you got things to do, I don't expect you to hang around. You know me, I was just going to sit and run my mouth anyway. I called myself was going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and get it in every 4 weeks, maybe more often if I'm busting past my introvertism. It's a struggle. Okay, good. That's what Saturdays are for. You feed yourself and do whatever else you do or don't want to do. I don't know how we used to do it, but now I appreciate any kind of day of a weekend that I can get to do nothing if I want to. So I can just link up and run my mouth. Oh, let me see. Are you sending it now to make sure I get it? Oh, okay. Don't worry about it. You know what it is. That's cool. I hardly go to my email anymore unless I'm working, and don't nobody be casting me for nothing no more, so. Okay, no problem. No problem. Yeah, thank you. But they don't have any way of knowing it. They don't have any way of knowing it. I spent too much of my life being chicken of self-promotion. And that was the whole key. That's the whole key of it. Of, now it's anybody can do it. So you can compete with the whole world and everything and everybody. So that makes it even more complicated. But you got to self-promote. And whenever I see people do that, it gives me a read of character, like we was talking about earlier, that I'm not going to be able to do no sociopaths. I'm protecting my spirit. You got to be part sociopaths to really take pride in getting out there and always saying everybody needs to watch, see, buy tickets to your everything all the time. I feel so selfish doing that. But that's the game. Like, I really am genuinely the person that people be saying they are when they're like humility humility is not even saying, it's not even a downing of yourself. People equate insecurity with humility. They're two completely different things. And I understand everybody can't watch, see, view, buy tickets to all my everything all the time. That doesn't mean, though, that you shouldn't still promote yourself in the event that they can and will or want to, though. But I guess I just see the people that do it and do it well. I take nothing from them. But I'm like, what a sociopath. But then if that's the case, I wouldn't be interacting with nobody, because so many people are. We're so groomed to value so many crazy things that people aren't even valuing themselves anymore. And the irony is they're selling themselves and not valuing themselves. The irony. Selling so hard, overselling, and not really valuing. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. It's whatever. But I am a creative spirit, and I really thirst to exercise that creativity. So I would love to jump on a creative wagon, even if I can work with anybody. It's just my personal social life. I'm not going dealing with no shitty people. But you know, so we can't get done with work and think that we just gonna enjoy each other personally if you just grimy. You know what I mean? I was saying to someone, because someone asked me would I work for Tyler Perry, and I was like, yeah. I mean, as a lot of people I would work for. I have a sellout price. I do have a sellout price. But what they're going to have to contend with is that I've been my real true self in public and on the internet in the past, and so I could pretend to be what you paying me to be. But then if anybody can pull up my old videos, you gonna learn how I really feel about a situation. You know what I mean? I don't want to use this example, but if Papa John's could meet my sellout price, I would be on TV selling pizzas. But everybody in the real world would know. I know he's a racist. You know what I mean? It ain't I think he's a racist. That's not what I think about him. He's a racist, and I don't like him as a human being. And I wouldn't want to do anything to help him out in any shape, form, or fashion. But at the end of the day, I do understand some people got to feed their families. They gotta feed their families. So I look on there and be like, I'd be like, I can't see doing no commercial for no Papa John's. You know, I don't think they can afford my sellout price. You understand? But I look at those people and I'm like, I know they didn't pay them enough to sell that pizza. Knowing what they know. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's on Nike bandwagon right now. But Nike's still the same selfish, crazy people, abusing, sweatshop owning, sending things to poison black people in Africa brand. They're still that brand. They're just smart about their racism. I tell people a lot more lately that I get it. I get it when people need to feed their family, but let your moral sellout price be higher at least. At least make it be hard for them to afford you. Because these people, they can't afford me. I'm not willing to do it. Or I'll have somebody, you know, there are a lot of people that I would love to collab with in the Canna community. But I can't do it. Because there is either racist or even if they're black, they've low-key agreed to sign up to sell their BS, or they're just kind of ignorant, not maliciously, but they're ignorant and they don't realize that this person is about to pimp them out so that they can profit off of them, you know, make them look like they have diversity. So they hire them on, or they hire them on to spew lies because they know they have a voice in the community for the black people in the community, so they can convince them of certain things, like. Eventually, like I think I've said on my videos before, it might not be one of the ones you watch, but I've said that we're going to have our first death by cannabis soon. It'll happen. You know what I mean? That's one of them crazy things we were talking about earlier. Like, during the whole process of the whole system knew that eventually that they would legalize. They knew that a long time ago. They're just in the process of working on how they can, they're working on the process of how they can. This is going to sound crazy, but they set up these testing facilities so that they can make sure your medicine is clean and wasn't grown with pesticides and whatever. So it has to be tested first before it can be put on in a dispensary. You know, they have regulations. But there's going to come a point where their testing is going to consist of some stuff that none of us have no idea about. So they're going to be able to do whatever they want to do, and that sounds crazy. Because people are like, I know people would be like, that doesn't make sense. It's weed. That don't make sense. What could they do? I mean, you can only do so much. It's whatever. They can do whatever. People don't understand. But they can tell us that, okay, the meat is being injected. Oh, the vegetables have been contaminated with whatever. So they can get all of those and have all those outbreaks. But they can't. And how convenient would it be if everybody use it, if they got it to replace actually alcohol? And so, oh man, I don't even like to say it out loud, because if they are listening, I don't want to give them no ideas. But they're gonna have access to control so many things, aspects of it. And what better thing to control than the one thing that actually can be healthy for people? People learn it can be healthy for them. We make it accessible. And then we actually put something in it to make it where whatever they want to make it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't want them to think I know. And I don't want them to think that I'm too curious about it. I don't know nothing. So every now and then, when I just start questioning everything, and I start coming to conclusions and being like, why people don't see this? How come people don't see this? Because they're not supposed to. We've been groomed not to see it. And our parents were groomed to make sure that we are taught where we continue to don't see it. And sometimes even when I see an intelligent person, like say I see one of those hotel people, that's all I know to call them now. Like or Farrakhan Muslim, because that's not the same Muslim as Arabic Muslim. Yeah, so much can be manipulated. Everything we consume. I was looking at some archive things, and me and Mister were joking about multi-level marketing, whatever, and we were joking about the coffee and whatever, and he was like, but why coffee? This was when she first started with it. He was like, but why coffee why coffee? And I said, why? I was like, coffee is the best thing. You have to get something that is in every household that you can accuse everyone of using or doing or whatever. And how many Americans drink coffee? To the multi-levels, to the pyramid people, that is dollar signs in the eyeballs. Everybody drinks coffee. So you can be like, you drink coffee? What kind of coffee you like? And they could drop some Starbucks line even. Because that was before Starbucks got caught doing what they've always been doing. But got caught anyway. But yeah. Coffee's excellent. Yeah. You have to get something everybody's going to be in on. I know why it sounds crazy. You know what I mean? Right. Girl. That's what I said. But I'm the only one that said it. Well, and you apparently. But I'm the only one that said it, so I don't be saying that. Because if you go, all these people, they get emotional about their genealogy results. They be getting emotional. Like what they sent them back was gospel. Just giving it up. Through the mail. No less. Bitch. Through the mail. Oh my God. And there's video of the guy that used to do the, him and Louis Gates, no shade, because I love that dude, but here, there's a video of him joking with somebody and paying for it, and sitting a month or however long it takes in anticipation. Can't wait to find out who your ancestors were. Well, guess what? Is you still don't know. You still don't know. You know what I wonder? I wonder if when they do the DNA thing, if they have a questionnaire that they fill out that asks them their ethnicity. I wonder. Because it's my DNA. You shouldn't need me to put my ethnicity on the test question to send back with the sample. You should be telling me. I'm sending it so you can tell me what I am. You need to know if I'm African American or white. This DNA. You telling me what I am. I'm gonna leave this blank for now. Okay, and wait on these results. That way they know how much of it. Like if you white, they can tell you so much Irish or something, or Swedish or some stuff. And then if you're black, they can give you some pieces of Africa and they don't know. But you can't find these thousands of kids that y'all done snatched up and put on the auction block. Yeah, I said it. Put on the auction. They selling them. They sell. Look, it's a horrible thought. Hey boo, how you doing? Mean black dude. It's been a minute. But yeah, it's a horrible thought. But they have been. I don't know if you saw this video. You might have saw this one too when I was talking about them closing down Walmarts and Targets over the night. Oh, mean black dude? Meet Mr. Divinely Purple. Mr. Divinely Purple, mean black dude. Mean black dude's an OG from when YouTube first was born. You're opaque. You're opaque. Yeah. But I was talking about them shutting down the Walgreens and the Target overnight, the department stores that hadn't even been there a year. How do you close down that stuff? I don't know. Haven't the slightest idea. But they closed them things down and they started putting gates up and cameras and stuff. So I felt like, back then, I felt like they are building these concentration camps. You know, I don't be saying that on a regular video or texting it in there, because algorithms, they do pick up everything. But anyway, but yeah, they was building them camps, preparing for that stuff. And I was like, as soon as everybody went up in arms and they said return the kids and all that stuff, I was like, I wonder how they gonna do this, because I bet you they done sold the kids. They probably had some on layaway. I'm like, they done sold them. And it's free labor, and they can replace. You know, people not talking about the prisoner strikes. The prisoner strikes. Yeah, the prisoners were striking. So they need to replace that labor that they had with the people that they stealing, with the parents of the children that they selling off. I'm fabricating. This is all out of my mind. This is all out of my mind. But you know, that's what this is. I'm just saying, every time I say something crazy like that, it's only a matter of months later before it goes down. I was just saying, they have to convict LaQuan's murderer because it's going on at the same time Kavanaugh's trial was going on. And it was going on at the same time Kavanaugh's trial was going on. And this is October, which is basically Women's Month and breast care, aka Breast Care Awareness Month. Right. People forget about, you know, they hear about one thing. And how about all the things that are a distraction? Fake distractions for stuff that's actually happening. How about that? Like, there was supposed to be some dude that rolled up in New Orleans, or maybe Slidell, outside New Orleans, in the projects, on a walker, and shot up the project, was shooting up, and so the girl who supposedly was recording it and calling 911, yeah, she black in the projects and gonna record with one hand and call 911 with the other. But anyway, so she was calling this, and this is a clip that was on the news, and she was like, oh, he's shooting. I ain't hear a single shot. And it's a white dude in the projects that walked up in a walker. You telling me ain't no brothers in that hood that got nothing to lose that's gonna take care of him before he get his gun out, much less a shot off. But anyway, in the next few seconds, they saw the police negotiating with him, approaching him. He got a gun now. They walking right up on him. Did y'all see that? Y'all didn't see that clip? I'm going to put that on in my next video. Man, they was doing all... I was like, this didn't even happen. I was like, it's all the other real stuff that's going on. I was like, they can't even get I was like, they should have hired a better actor. And why does he have to... Did the original guy couldn't make it? Because how did they get a guy on a walker? And even in the comments, I'm like, y'all not even gonna go from this. It was one person that was like, I live right around the corner from there. When that happened? That's what he said. And I'm like, nobody don't think this don't sound right. And even Mr. was like, that's the projects. Ain't nobody out there with the caution tape or nothing, with the camera crew. Ain't no other cameras out there. Yeah, they had them in the news was interviewing the girl that they happened to get the girl that recorded it and called 911. So they was interviewing her out in the little area, the patio, you know, I guess in the middle of the projects. But nobody else hanging out. You think black people don't hang out in the projects all the time? So the news was interviewing her, and so she was talking about what she saw. And then standing next to her was a French guy. I'm not exaggerating. A French guy. He had a black shirt on that was unbuttoned down his belly button like in the 70s pimp style. And they asked him what happened. He was like, that was a white man, and he came into the black. I don't know. He was saying something about white, black, and I'm like, he can't even speak English. Like they couldn't get better actors for this. And she done went and got her hair done because she knew she was gonna be on TV. Oh my god. Oh my god. And then I was telling Mr. when they had when we went to visit family in Texas, and then they had supposedly somebody went up to a school and was shooting out by the field house or whatever, and the RSO officer stopped them. And I told Mr. I was like, that's your president trying to prove that it's helpful to have teachers armed. That is he finna show you that how it's useful that so the SRO, whatever that officer was, stopped the gunman apparently. Because the first thing I said was who got shot and who died. If didn't nobody get shot or died and it was a school shooting, it was staged. It was staged. And so that was a distraction to prove, I guess, you know, like I said, he was trying to get guns in the hands of the teachers. So they, you know, so they could shoot some more of us. And so in the meantime, I was like, that's just a distraction to prove that. But watch another school shooting happen. And that's when I don't remember what it was. That was in Texas too, where they shot like 10, 12 people. Oh, he know this. Yeah, he know that. The teachers will end up killing students. And even if that doesn't happen, and there's a school shooting, and the police show up, and a black teacher got a gun, who you think getting shot? They could say they thought that was the shooter. Either way. So I'm convinced that they think that they come together and decide on these things in rooms that me and you and most of the actual politicians will never ever know about. They map out all of this stuff. Just the idea, when I think of the timeline of the camps being built, when everyone, including myself, I even thought I was crazy for thinking something like that. I was like, that's a horrible thing to think. Because in my mind, I was like, those are going to be our American sweatshops. I thought they were going to be sweatshops. And then I went from that to thinking, because where are they going to get the kids, right? And then I was like, of course they're going to get the kids. Because he was banning, at that time he was banning, he wasn't actually deporting and doing that stuff. He was just banning Muslims or whatever. And so I was like, oh, well, that's how he's going to get the kids. He's going to ban them and keep their kids. But he had other plans, as we have seen played out. So he started deporting people that were actually Americans, by the way. Deporting people and literally stealing their kids, drugging them up and stuff. And we're supposed to be pacified because we've seen 5 kids reunited with their parents, notwithstanding the emotional damage, but you know, or whatever drugs that they got put in them. But they didn't expect that they would have to give any of them back. So you know, they had to find the ones they hadn't totally contaminated already. You know, ideally some that were old enough that not to be able to tell what they've done to them so far too. That's helpful as well. But it's just it was such a horrible thought. But when that stuff actually played out, I was like, oh my God. I'm going to stop letting people make me think. Even though nobody tells me that, but I know people sit back and think, that's a horrible thought. Like, that couldn't even happen. Who does that? How you figure the government is doing that? You really doing too much. So I'll say, you know what? I am doing too much. I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know. And when this stuff happens, when it plays out, nobody ever comes back and was like, you know, you said. Oh, yeah, let me let y'all hear it today. I've said it on other social media outlets. But your first lady don't even speak English. That's how much of an illegal alien she is. She don't even speak English. All right, boo. I love you, too. Okay, I'll look for it. Yeah, she don't even speak English. Right, it's gonna be everybody. I tell everybody, I'm like, you too, boo. I'll be like, what do you think is gonna happen? Let's say they got all of the Muslims they want. They got all the whatever. Let's say they got rid of all of us. They want. Then what? Or let's say they got rid of all the people except white people. What do you think is next? Yeah, that's right. When my last tweet was when 45 won when he actually the day that he won, he found out he won the presidency. And my last tweet was, white people are about to find out just how internally implosive this can be. Because it ain't just, they need to know it's not just about us. When you uplifting psychopaths, a whole bunch of whole stuff will roll out easily. But that's what it is. That's where we at, man. So I knew they were going to crucify LaQuan's murderer, which they didn't do. They still didn't give him the sentencing that they would have gave a black dude. But anyway, they had to really take him down because it's October. You know, it's titty month, which means it's females month. They don't know what they love. They don't know what love is. You know, because people want to say Becky's so loyal or whatever, but that's not. She is loyal to her dude, but I don't know if you can count it as loyalty when you throw your own personal safety and happiness to the wind along with your children. Along with your children. These are females that was gonna let Roy Moore in. What do you think? What makes them think Kavanaugh is gonna be a problem? they wanted Roy Moore in. Yeah. And I was telling her before you showed up, I was telling her how people had us convinced that those old black people was doing too much. They was too extreme. They don't trust no white people. You know, you think, oh, you're doing too much. All white people, you're gonna say you don't trust no white people. I don't trust no white people. And we thought, oh, they just crazy. That's Madea. She always talk like that. Or that's that's how they do. That's how they do. They do too much. What if they not doing too much? Everybody accepted them old people just crazy. What if they not doing too much? What if they know that it's something that they can't, even if white people want to be helpful and they can, they have the freedom to. I always say, well, that's what I was saying. I was like, he had to be, that's why the LaQuan murderer had to go down, because they knew they wanted Kavanaugh in, and they can't do both. We don't want no smoke with Chicago right now while we fighting all of the bitches in the country. You can't fighting all the bitches in the country and want to put their predators in charge of them. We can't fight all these bitches of the nation and then deal with black people and let Chicago lead that fight. Oh, can't do both. And it's October too. Yeah, so I was like, oh, this dude finna be the sacrificial lamb over here in Chicago so that they can get this rapist in. Because they don't want their stuff to come out of the closet. You know what I mean? If they question Kavanaugh, all of them got to get questioned too. Right. Right. All of them got to get questioned too. If he gets caught, everybody gets caught. Because they don't care about each other. His whole... Yeah. Yeah. 16. He got to be the lamb. He got to be the lamb. They really think we're unintelligent. They're so convinced that we're so unintelligent that they think that a conviction, although we appreciate a conviction like that and it speaks volumes about a whole realm of things, they believe low-key that pacifies us into thinking that justice is suddenly done across the board. We gotta throw the whole system away and start over. The whole ass thing. And that's not gonna happen because we're not ready. Wakanda ain't together. We're not ready for it. For that smoke. I would like to think that we're capable of being ready for it. But yeah, but it's just the process of how we're conditioned. And cognitive dissonance is a hell of a drug. And it gets people lost and caught up and it going on so far extremely one way that they can't see the other. There's no balance. And then they're easily manipulated. If you don't have any balance on your thinking and logic and common sense and moral stance, you got to go, you so far against bullying that you lose the light of teaching your child self-esteem so that the bully is not attracted to the target. Bullies don't go aiming for people that are secure. Even if they're bigger than them. Even if they're, smaller and seem a little demure. If the person is secure, that's not who the bully is going to go for. Bully don't want that smoke. So why not also teach your kid not to be a punk? You know? You let the bully know you want it or not. We don't have to discuss it. Let's do it. The bully don't want it. But at the same time, fuck the bully and their parents. Of course. They're bitch-ass parents that enable it the whole time. Because, people, you can't tell them their kid done did wrong. So, teachers ain't shit. Students ain't shit either. You know me. Ain't nobody shit. Everybody gets it. Everybody can get it. I go in on all sides. Yeah. That's why nobody sticks with me any length of time. You know what I mean? But then again, like I was saying to her, I suck at self-promotion. It feels so egotistical to me. Yeah, in most cases. In most cases. I'm trying to imagine a bully that don't have bully parents, and I can't see it. It's not impossible, because people do have stuff in them. That's a place where I need to grow. I need to know that there are some people that do have some chemical imbalances that actually does cause behavioral dysfunction. Because I'm on some everybody got a choice. And everybody got a choice. I feel like certain people, you ain't that crazy. Like, you know when to pump your brakes and who to pump it with. But some people don't know when to stop, because some people don't have not that they don't have anything to lose, but they so out of touch with reality that they don't mind getting themselves killed behind some bull. That's how kids end up going down over and over again. And I have not... Oh, how you feel about all the little famous YouTubers predictably finding their demise? Oh, bro. We was talking about that too. We were talking about how... Well, I was mostly talking about it. Because we all... I was telling her I'm so sick of looking at these compassion pimps talking about their bout with depression. But they're always talking about their depression and stuff like nobody else is dealing with nothing. Like, all of us aren't dealing with depression. I forgot. I was talking finding their demise with what? What was I talking about? You know what it is. I forgot already what I was saying when I was saying it, so it'll hit me again. Because my short-term memory be coming back. Oh, no, not mortality. I'm talking about their fall from grace. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I feel like you could predict every last one, or can predict. Like you, at this point, it's a, you know, it's a structured path. They're so thirsty for popularity. Then they get the popularity, and they don't really care who. And it doesn't matter what community is. Like, they don't care who it is. That's why, you know, I used to always talk about me not saying comment, rate, and subscribe, because again, I suck at self-promotion in the first place. But everybody said comment, rate, and subscribe, and everybody follow me on everything. Well, everybody did, and that didn't work out real well. It didn't work out. It didn't work out as like they. It worked out exactly like it works out, but it didn't work. I don't think it worked out like they thought it was gonna work out. You gotta be careful what you ask for, I guess. You gotta be careful what you ask for. Cause my thing was comment, rate, and subscribe if you're a good, genuine-hearted, intelligent person. Yeah. Same thing with I think social media in general. It builds those monsters, or even better, it has those monsters build themselves. And then when shit gets monstrous for them, there's no coming out of it. Because everybody has been taught that everybody wins. Everybody can win. But the reality is, if someone wins, someone has to lose. And in some cases, that's going to be your ass. And this is how you pull yourself up out of it and think your way through. And that's okay, too. It's okay for people to have a certain community that they're appealing to. But I get a double whammy, because not only is there a variety, you know, I'm not concentrating on, well, actually I'm concentrating on something elsewhere. Right, that's true. You're right about that. You're absolutely right about that. But even aside from that, like, they get to where they're so, the commodity is not even, they get so bad with it and so deep and so strung out on it, on popularity, that the commodity is not even money anymore. And so you can't buy happiness. You know what I mean? You can't buy it. You can't buy it with following, an audience. You can't buy it with financial or material success. And people are just so convinced. And the very same people that are saying don't look at people on the internet and admire what they have, they're doing that exact thing. It's just like with anything else. People are telling people to value good people and good things and be morally balanced and all that, but they actually live in a completely opposite example, and then wondering how kids are confused. How are the kids? What's wrong with the children? How are they detached from reality? Y'all know why. People know why. And so much for these questions that I had that I never got to, huh? Who's gonna do some cannabis? Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And they're stuck. And you know what would pull them out of being stuck? Is a lack of shame. But now they're ashamed because so much shit came out of their mouth that they're unable to back up. And what kills me now is when I see it like on an 11-year-old. You see like a little 11-year-old just starting their channel out. I'm already heartbroken for them because they already got a bot. Sending a bot out to people's channels talking about, oh, I love your channel, why don't you come check out mine? Bitch, you're 8. There's nothing child friendly about my channel. You should not be at my channel. We not gonna have nothing in common. Okay. That's cool. I hope I'm able to download this. This is gonna be a long ass video. What the fuck? I'm a cow. I'm a cow. Amazing. And look what I'm resetting up, just FYI. And I do so off camera for some of the very reasons we discussed, because we still can't be too careful. Because all those, just like has been the case from the beginning of time, all laws ain't for us. Number 2, and number 1, we're all living under martial law. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we all know what it is, but, and I'm not ashamed of it. If anything, I've gotten to where I'm like on the border of advocate at this point. I'm not on the border. I'm over the thing. But I can't be, what kind of advocate you gonna be if you still that careful to the point where, like, it's certain events you ain't gonna see me at because it's a free event, but you gotta register? Nah, bitch, I'm not, you ain't finna set me up. Okay. Nope. Bet you don't set me up. And a lot of always, and the black, and whenever I, you know, when you say stuff like that, people are less likely to think you crazy because so much is actually happening. But people still are conditioned a certain way, even if they're seeing certain things happen, and they still gonna think you crazy because they have to. The system has to make them think that we're crazy for even speculating something that could happen or that's happening right before their eyes. I get it. They're conditioned, and they have to be convinced that we're the crazy ones. They have to, or else it'll never work. That would mean that people would want to do the right thing, and we know that that's not our world that we live in right now. And I try to tell some of the people, but sometimes I keep my mouth closed because at the same time that everybody needs to watch their back, some people do need to use the affiliation with the colonizer to get their foot in the door. I get that too. I get it. Feed your family. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna protect my freedom as long as I know that this country don't make laws for me and people that look like me. You know, and if I have access and I'm able to appreciate it and stay semi-free, yeah. I got a page dedicated to it, and I still don't. I don't be showing stuff on camera, and no. And again, how are you gonna be an advocate and you're not even willing to go that far? You know what I mean? Or people invite me to stuff, and I'm like, is it registration? Because if it's just for me to enjoy, then I should be able to come enjoy it without you needing to know all my information and blood type. And I don't know if you were here when me and Miss Purple were talking about people sending their DNA through the mail to get a fake genealogy result. Oh my God. You gave them your DNA? I mean, I don't know that they're going to do anything with it right now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. They're going to have access. They're going to have, when they do all this clean testing for it, that's why they're pushing regulatory so much. Because they get convinced that when they get the results, that the results are real. Even though there's video of the host of the dude that did it on TV, he was making a joke about when Oprah was getting hers done, I guess, or whatever. And the guy, and he was like, well, you could just make it up like you always do. I was howling. I was like, I knew it. I was like, I knew that was bull. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. If that's the case, and I was saying, if that's the case, I wonder if they have a questionnaire that you fill out to send in with the sample. Because if on that questionnaire, it asks you what's your ethnicity, they shouldn't be asking you that. They supposed to be telling you that. So you should know. But the quicker I learned that they gonna get whatever they want to get, the less stressful it is for me. Because they're going to get whatever they want to get, because people are going to do what people do. And they're going to willfully volunteer for it. They used to send me into, I used to be so, I was like, we just going to walk right into the gas chambers voluntarily. That's what's going to happen. And everybody just watching it. How, Sway? I'm going to go right to this question. Your favorite munchie? That's a goofball question, so you know I got that from a goofball. Are you sweet or sour? Sour. You can answer some of these too. What thing you like to try? I guess, have you dabbed? Yeah, you have. Ain't no way you haven't. That's just me on the slow tip. I always figure though, like why? For me, like why would I? Because if flour's fine, I mean at worst, nobody would mind having me at their party, because I sure ain't gonna smoke up all their stuff if they all dabbing. If I could smoke with anyone living or dead, who would it be? Someone I don't have access to already, I presume, is how you're directing that question. The first person that comes to my mind are the Obamas, but I don't know if that's the case. Your Pringles. Right. Like, I got kind of spoiled with using glass only. I actually never was a joint person. I don't know why I'm saying that like I ever was a joint person. I was late bloomer, and I was bougie in the first place, and I laid down with a MacGyver. So we took... So he actually got me an ink pen that I had that was a metal ink pen, and he made me just a little one hitter out of it. I think I still have that thing somewhere. I'm gonna show it next time. I think I still have that. Anyway, and after that, it's just been like glass pipe or a bubbler, and that's something that I have to give credit to White World, just because they have always had more access than us. Well, this is new. But whenever I thought about it, I always thought about joints or something, or blunts. Or I didn't even know blunts to be a mixture of anything. But yeah, anyway, I'm privy to glass. But that reminds me of wick. That reminds me of wick, because I thought wick was so much bullshit. And I mean, well, it is, but it's not. But I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that's a whole nother step. That's a whole third step. Why, Sway? And so I was like, well, I'm gonna try it. It's just wick, whatever. So I tried it. You see, I'm a crafty girl. I made my own dispenser. I don't need to purchase a whole glass dispenser. Yes, that's right, I said it. But I thought it was a whole third step. I was like, you still lighten you still doing everything the same. You just adding an extra step for a while. And I felt like the whole flavor excuse was something to make up so that they could do this whole third step and look a certain way. So I decided to try it, and I tried it, and it was a huge taste difference. It was a huge taste difference, number two. And number one, how hard is it to light a candle and have it already there, so that whenever you do the third damn step, because it's still a third damn step, but it is worth it. It's worth it to the point where I actually look for it every single time. Yeah, I thought that was bullshit, but I'm down with it. Matter of fact, I'm going to do a video, because and I've never seen anyone else do a video on it. There's actually a 1 millimeter and a 2 millimeter. So there are two different thicknesses. And I don't see what the damn difference would be. Ooh. I'm on my third eye shit with vaping though, bro. I'm on my third eye shit with vaping. I was one of the first to be fascinated by it. In fact, I have several that I haven't ever used. I have an e-cig that's an original e-cig. This is before vaping got hot. This is how far back I went. There was a video on how to take the juice out that they put in the e-cig that I have, and then put some, I guess, can of oil in there or whatever. And so I wanted to try that. But before I did it, I wanted to see what it was about. And they had something you could get that was just chocolate with no nicotine in it. So I got that one. Anyway, I went the long way because this is a sesh. But I went the long way to basically say that I was interested in vaping, but I never vaped. Because I said, I'm going to wait and see what happens. Because this is this new thing. They telling you it's healthier, you know, less chemicals, which may all be technically true. Because, see, I know how the system sets things up to really look like they have our best interests at heart. So, plus they needed to do something because cigarettes are dying, and the ability to smoke cigarettes in public is dying. So I think they came up with vaping by way of cannabis to start this craze. In the process, though, I feel like there's something that we don't know that is not good for you with vaping. And I don't know what that shit is. And I don't even think scientists know what that shit is. But I think there's something that's not, they say it's just water vapor and whatever else you got in there. But I think there's something. Yeah. Yeah. So I went the long route to say that when it first came out, and I was interested in it, but I sat back and watched. And I started watching, I started watching vaping videos. You know, they would do reviews and they would do test e-juice and stuff like that. And I was like, you know, these people look like meth heads. I was like, and it's not because they all were smokers or used to be smokers or anything like that. I'm like, these people go hard for vaping. These people that go hard for vaping, they look like something. They look like it's something going on. And I was like, you know, maybe that's not as healthy as they say it is. Again, I don't know. I don't have any scientific background, and I don't even have any personal experience to go from. I'm literally going from people that I watched over a course of a couple of years who made vaping videos all the time. And the not the deterioration, but I'm going to say deterioration of just how they look. It looked like meth heads. And I was like, I don't know what this vaping thing is, but it's cute how they make it sound so healthy. Yeah. I mean, I even tried it. But all I did was try it. Because I'm like, this ain't going to be me. Even with just the supposed water vapor, it felt like something in the back of my throat was it just dried out immediately. It made me thirsty thinking about it. Plus cottonmouth. Do you ever think it'll be legal? Obviously, I think we think it. Of course, it will. They just, to me, they're just working out how they're going to go about controlling it when it is fully adult use legal. But yeah, it's gonna be legal. They don't figure out how they could profit from it. They just need to figure out the path by which to take over. Do you take the safety off your lighters? That's random. No little ones to worry about here. Your favorite chill spot? At home, I guess. And wax or melts versus flour, I don't know nothing about that. Right. A while back, bro, don't get me started. A while back, Mr. Had said that he was like, okay, since they don't want to do reparations of any kind, he's like, what would have been good is if they just let us live tax-free, like where we have to pay taxes. That could be their reparations. To me, that was a brilliant idea. I've had some creative ideas regarding stuff, but I was like, that's a good idea, actually, tax-free. You do shit without having to pay tax on it, okay? But with this new activism that I have, I was thinking that another form or another option for reparatory actions would be to do just that, to make it accessible to us. I think I said for free, or at least heavily discounted. I don't know, but just something regarding us in a big way, not just the taxes on it, not just tax free. I'm talking about huge ass discounts for things just like that, for all the times that brothers have been misincarcerated, or their whole lives been changed, or car towed, whatever is a side effect of all the aforementioned profiling as activities. It's a whole bunch of expungement and reimbursement that would need to go on for that to be okay. And that, my dear, is the very reason why I tell people of color to still be careful, especially when really, if it's somebody I love and I see that they run in circles of colonizers in the industry. Right. Because I'm like, okay, you comfortable with them, sis. But when it comes down, and anybody got to pay a price for whatever all of y'all feeling the freedom to do, guess who's gonna catch the case? And I think there's one chick in the industry, and she's an OG that understands that and is therefore cautious about who she deals with. There was a little old girl that I used to watch. She's the only one that I used to watch her cannabis videos. She's the only girl I used to watch regularly and not when they were actually happening, but I always would catch up with her videos, and I respected her path. And she dipped out of the industry completely because she's an empath, so she was letting everybody in, but then she fuck around and find out that they were racist or some shit, which everybody is, girl. I would have wanted to tell her, like, she ought to know her people, but but she's so passionate about it. She don't do it to get attention, and you only know if you already at her videos. And like, she just didn't care what white people got offended by it. You know what I mean? She wasn't trying to be anything. She was just like, just find out this stuff, So she was like, I'm just done with the cannabis industry in general, because you never know what snake is gonna come out the grass. And I was thinking that about her long before that actually happened. I was like, she's not going to last because everybody is a snake in the grass. They're going to latch on to her for popularity. They're going to use her name. And then they're going to do some grimy shit. And she's going to be like, I really trusted that person. Yeah, boo-boo, you did. Why? I don't know. Permit Patty, I guess. They called the police on that girl in Jersey for selling water outside of her own place. And that Allison girl that used to sell pet weed for your pets or whatever. They was trying to get in touch with her. The chick I'm talking about, they was trying to get in touch with her because they wanted to collaborate or whatever. And so they texted her talking about all these black activists are overreacting to something, whatever. And she was basically like, bitch, I saw the video. How about if she just mind her fucking racist ass business and push the fuck on? And I was like, oh, I'm so proud of her because she didn't do that to impress us. She did that because that's how she felt. And she was like, she told him to get the fuck all the way the fuck out of here because I saw the video. But people got to be careful. Not just with that, but especially with that. Especially with that. It's almost like, it's just like when the slaves heard they were free, but it was certain slaves in certain parts in the South that had to continue to act like they didn't know they were free. That's what it's like. We gotta go on. Yeah. Yeah. Bitch, mind your own business. That shit was hilarious. But sometimes I be wondering that those of us that had childhood white friends, do those childhood white friends at any point now in this era, do they finally be going, oh, okay, now I get why they wouldn't, you know, participate and do this with us or whatever. Now I get it. You'd be like, nah, Becky, I can't do that. And most of the time because my mom will kill me. My parents will kill me if I do that. But then other times it's like if we get caught, only I'm going to pay consequences for all of us. Bradley. You're not going to get in trouble like I am. And people act like they don't understand and act like everything is abuse, you know. Some of those parents whooping their kids' ass because they don't want the police to get the opportunity to do it. It don't mean you have to, any of us, because I don't like it either, have to like or understand it. But the reality is, you can't really dispute that.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't even have, and this is what I'm talking about, where they get to them black people, they're like, oh, they doing too much. You know, nothing's exclusive. But I can still do it with the ones that I might have thought were black internally. Because they will always have the freedom of choice. And if at any point in their life, they may never do so. But if the reality is, and so I guess I'm that old black lady now, but if at any point in their life it becomes too much on them, like they build a family maybe already, with a white woman, white kid, and they built a family, and their standing for my struggle is endangering his family, I don't expect him to sacrifice him and his family for that. And the reality is he has the choice not to, even if in protection of his own family. So, you know, they can turn it off whenever they want to and just be white. So that's the thing that makes me continue to hesitate. Which is so crazy because I was that chick that I thought people, I was like, well, how about you don't ride down the street with your music loud and your windows tinted and your wheels? Yeah. Why don't you not do that, and then the police maybe won't hassle you? I was one of them chicks, if I can be real with myself. And the reality is,
brothers and sisters alike, I don't know what my light-skinned ass was thinking, but you can just be merely breathing, and it just be that day that they decided to do what they decided to do. Just like I said, that the lady cop that murdered Botham John, whatever his name is. I was like, I wonder how much they paid her. I was like, that's a hit if I ever saw one. That's all I had to say, because the rest of it is everybody else buying into the scenarios and this and that and the other. And they even planted one immediately that they was in a relationship, and there was a picture of her with him and another chick, and I was like, man, this is some Hollywood movie stuff that's going on right now. And beyond that, it's some it's some Marvel super villain stuff going on right now. Right. I don't even know how to... I was going to say I don't know how to feel about this country. I was just going to say that. But I do know what I know. And I know what I don't know that I don't know. And I'm going to keep on pretending not to know some other stuff. Because I don't need them picking on me. It ain't no whole lot of people out there that's trying to wake up. And I can't fight the fight by myself. And even if I find 17 motherfuckers really just as strong as we can be, it's going to take more than 17 to go up against this whole nationwide fuckery. And so you just really do literally laugh to keep from crying. Go, what the fuck else are you gonna do? And you gotta keep yourself in the best health possible because the doctors are in on the doctors are a part of it voluntarily. You know what I'm saying? It's just amazing. You ever seen an old person get fed up with taking one of their medications, and they stop taking that bitch, and they start feeling better and doing better? Well, we all know how procreation is working out these days, so you know, shit. Most of my earlier videos were all parenting rants, because I could see this coming a mile away. I was doing a parenting rant every other video. I was going back to look at some old clips to post. And I was like, man, I stayed going off on people for pissy parenting. But, you know, those kids that I was mad about being misparented, they're now having kids. And guess what they're doing? It ain't breaking the cycle. That ain't what it is that they're doing. That torch been passed, you hear me? So okay, would you date a non-smoker? You probably have. Having more kids on more kids on more kids. Yeah, we know. And then calling on women's empowerment when it all goes sour, because they the victim then. They the victim at that point. He did you wrong. I bet. Yep. When I was brainwashed, I definitely decided not to date people based on that. Oh. I was like, why do non-YouTubers hate smoking? Never mind, I get what you were saying. You know what it is. Matter of fact, another round. The fan was blowing my stuff out. I had to fight all my life. I got to fight for a light. Are you a strain person? Like, do you have particular strains that you... that's a lie and a half. YouTubers, those people have been the demise of their own shit. People blame that stuff on the internet. People gonna get enough of blaming their pissy decisions on the internet. Half the time, it's not even real. The relationships on the internet. I think that's for everybody, no matter what people say. Even though they say they got, you know, I'm old school though, because I'm still getting adjusted to the whole idea of I was just laughing the other night about it. I was like, they got the privilege of being able to shop for shit. And then when people just had a guy, like even when even when I was young and didn't do that, I was like, people had a guy. That's it. And you got whatever you got from the guy. And now I get what our parents were saying when they would laugh and be like, y'all have options everywhere. You got the world at your fingertips. Oh, the privileges of millennials. Y'all can go into an actual shop and shop for different things. Man, the access. Unbelievable. Do you break up your nugs? I think who doesn't? Of course you do, right? As far as a strain or whatever, that's what I was saying, all that to say, all that wordy ass shit. Just to ask you, is it a particular strain or anything like that? Are you a strain person? Oh, that was just a question. I don't like literally break up. You know, you would be surprised what I do. I get a little saucer and I get a lip gloss. A lip gloss. And I smush up just like that. And it's just a little saucer. So I'm so practical. I'm so old school. That's it. People be doing too much. But I do have a little electric hand grinder. You ever seen the it's just an herb grinder, electric herb grinder. If you probably just looked it up on the internet, it looked like a flashlight. And in the mouth of it, it's just, that's showing too much though. But you know, you just push the button and it'll do it all. Oh, that's true. Yeah, keep catching. True that. Well, I didn't tell you the rest of the step because I didn't see the need. But what I'll do, put that in a tube so that it's always fresh. And what happens is, oh, this is what I was getting to. And what happens is, in the tube, that keep settles as well. So eventually, when I get to the end, I also get to enjoy that as well. But yeah, you're right. People need not sleep on that. People need not sleep on it. There's good stuff down there. When did you start? I was over 30. And what's your favorite way to ingest? You just said you're a joint guy, right? Can you smoke stems? I don't think so. I wouldn't advise it. But I don't know if that's, I mean, I don't know if that's impossible though. Like if somebody just had stems and they were dry and they put them in a grinder, I don't see why. I mean, it would burn badly because it's wood in there, but I could actually see somebody being desperate in doing that. Although I don't see anybody being desperate in the future because there's so much access everywhere. I remember when I first visited California and people really did have them out in the ashtrays, just like regular cigarettes. Oh, that's southern. But that was the first time I ever saw things like that, and I was just in shock because people would have children sometimes. And I'm like, these people have roaches sitting in ashtrays like they're cigarettes. And it was like very normal in those California households. But even me sitting here shaking my head and thinking, what a shame, that's still my old school mentality from when I was brainwashed. Because I'm sitting shaking my head like, what a shame. But I know better now. Even with me knowing better. The idea that they get into people's heads is just a trip. Yeah, right? I bet you spoiled. I know. You rotten. You rotten in DC. So spoiled. But that's okay. I'm going to take my first trip. And I'm up to Legal Town. And that's going to be quite an experience. The thing about that is I'm trying to figure out how to work it out. I guess if I'm going to be any kind of advocate and if I'm going to work with people who are going to be okay with me not registering for some shit, then I should know how to carry myself in public because when you're doing new stuff can happen. And so, and you also want to be safe because, like I said, I believe the system is going to creep in any way they can. I don't want it to be in the form of juicing up what's supposed to be healthy stuff. But anyway, I want to see what that's like, and I figured I'll have to test and leave like hours in between, wouldn't you think? And if I have to test and leave hours in between, that means I probably couldn't test more than 3 tops in a day, right? And that's only assuming that you could trust the first one to be worn off after a few hours. What if you can't? What if it's still going? There might be only 2 a day. And if that's the case, then if you go for a trip that's only a week long, you only can try about 6 new things. Yeah. The thing about that is, you have to try it first to see if it's something that you're going to just want to get in the bed and take a nap or chill on the balcony or go and do shit. You know, you get out in town, go. See everything. It might be sativaed up and you ain't never really had nothing that was all sativa before. It's something to plan, but it's something to be very conscious of planning. You know, you got to have, all the way down to you got to have food in your room in case it is a heavy hitter. So you can eat and lay your ass down. Or it might be a movie watching thing, like where you don't want to get out in public and do stuff, but you could be not asleep. I'm not opposed to that idea. I'm not opposed to very quickly becoming a connoisseur. Because I believe that if anyone would give an honest review, and I'm not just talking about strain reviews, because I'm a believer that all these different things, there's just a generalization of shit. And it's either heavier on one or heavier on the other. I mean, I know there's scientific. I'm just saying it's one is heavier on one and one is heavier on the other. And there's also, in my opinion, also a psychological option. Because sometimes it really makes you think. Speaking of, what if in the Garden of Eden, what if the tree of life, the tree of knowledge, was actually cannabis? Yeah, Reggie, man. I don't know nobody that miss him, except for maybe for nostalgia's sake alone. Just to be able to say, yeah, that's that shit. I can't relate because that was a time. What if, man? But I'm thinking in terms of the tree of life, the tree of knowledge, and the tree of life. Because it's life-saving. And it's actually very enlightening. And even though people know that, that's not one of the benefits it gets. Because I think that'll be too much for everybody to take as humans. But it makes you more aware of stuff. Like, even in general. Because I'm telling you, bro, Mr. can be trying to explain something technical or computery to me or something like that. And I'm like, I don't know nothing about birthing no babies. I don't know what you're talking about. And then I'll be like, but just give me a minute. And I'll take care of my business. And I'll be like, okay, what were you saying? And he'll explain to me and I will understand it. And the crazy part is, even though I'm lit, I'm well aware that if I had not been lit, I would not have followed all that technical information. It's crazy. Because everybody gives it credit for short-term memory loss, which is a factor, is also a factor. But nobody talks about the fact that it helps you remember shit. Bro, I could be like, I know that what I was trying to tell you, I can't remember nothing. I haven't done nothing now, right? I'm just trying to remember. I'm like, hold on. I'll take care of business, and I can come back and recite whatever it was I was looking for in my memory. And that's not to say the short-term memory loss doesn't happen. But I have remembered shit consciously and deliberately using it. Yeah. Yes. And it's not that crazy situation that we've all been conditioned to do. Like right now. Like, I'm not slurring over my words. I'm lit. Which is why all these ideas are going through my head. But that's not the image that is fed to. Even when they erase Reefer Madness from the history books, they're still putting subtle shit to lean a certain way, to lean you a certain way. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, what if it's the tree of, because supposedly, like, right, the snake said, you know, he just don't want you to partake of this tree because then you'll know as much as him. Then you'll know you're naked. Which they did, right? That wasn't no lie. They act like the snake deceived them. The snake didn't deceive them. They did know they was naked. God was the one, or the jealous God that they be describing anyway. That's the one that said, I don't want you knowing as much as me. But you made them in your image. Why did you give them curiosity to maybe want to know? You know what I mean? So now, okay, I go over here and hit this tree this jealous God that everybody's, I keep throwing that in there because it trips me out when people say, God is a jealous God. Well, if he all knowing and all over everything, why he got to be insecure like that he got to be jealous? He know he the man. If he see what he think look like is worshiping a gold cow, maybe he just don't see, you know, he's secure. He know he the man. Yes, that nug boy. What if it was that bud? And so they partook of the tree of knowledge. And they did know they was naked. And they did start knowing because they got philosophical, right? So they was like, oh man. Well, what if I put some clothes on so you don't be tempted to be screwing me the whole time so we could get some other gardening shit done. We gotta survive. We gotta eat. You know, we can't just screw all the time, bro. And he's like, I don't know, this tree make me want, you know, you're looking pretty good. But what if that was the fruit? What if the bud was the forbidden fruit? And when Jesus had the anointing oil that healed nigga, it healed the lepers. It healed everything though, didn't it? Maybe that's what the Catholics want you to think that holy oil is. Maybe that's supposed to be the cattle oil that heals everything, every damn thing. Because it does. And so Jesus, what if Jesus wasn't just out here performing supernatural miracles? What if he was just the best oil dealer out here in these Jerusalem streets? Yeah. They just hadn't learned how to farm hemp yet. Yeah. And he knew how. Because he got sent down here to be like, okay, this is what we're going to do with these people. And then this handful of people decided to come up religion and Christianity because they was like, oh, no, all these people just out here trying to be woke and stuff. We can't have that. So we need to come up with a manual. It got to be a rule book. And it got to, it got to fit into what we like. Pedophilia got to be okay in the book. Yeah, let it be okay. But kind of glide by it so that if they decide it's not okay later, they can still doctor it up where it don't look so bad. Yeah. And incest and pedophilia, though, that's all good. Man, you'd be surprised with what all kinds of stuff does for all kinds of stuff. Oh, for her prenatal issues? Prenatal care? Man, our ancestors knew about, they didn't have no hospitals and doctors. They have no hospitals and doctors. And they was living to be 300 damn years old, you telling me though? Okay, well somebody was not doing something to their food at that time. That they was living to 900 damn, was it Abraham? Wasn't people living to 900 years old? And now the government want to put something in the food? Oh, and all bets are off right now on regulatory. So while people were vegans thinking that meat eaters got a problem, meat eaters saying, well, vegetables being attacked too. Everything is attacked everywhere. Meanwhile, the orange man in charge has lifted all kind of regulatory. So these people that make stuff that we consume don't even have to follow no particular rules no more. They can do literally whatever the cheapest shit is. No matter how murderous the recipe winds up being. You can do the cheaper route. And guess what? It'll even taste better to them. They'll get more addicted to it. Child. Oh yeah, but what if he was performing miracles because he had the can of oil that was healing every damn thing? We don't know, but we can all agree that we can blame it on the Eve. We can blame it on the woman. let's go ahead and victimize her from jump in our book. In our new book of religion that we're going to pass through. I'm gonna get out there. You know what? Fuck it. No, I don't get no fuck. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Because I'm just questioning. I'm at this point questioning so much of everything that it's making me be able to see stuff happen before it's coming. I see it coming a mile away. And what my question is, why don't people? Why don't people see it? You know, some of the fake stage stuff that they do. I wonder why don't people see it? But then at the same time, I'm like, well, they intermingle it in between the real stuff that's going on. That's really still distractions from the other real stuff that's really going on. That's above pay grade. So it's just a conglomeration of fuck shit nationwide. And we put it in the hands of the literal supervillain that wants to just take over the world like a little boy who is cheering for the villain in the superhero movie. And guess what? We don't have one hero to come save the day for us. Don't even have a hero. That's a shame. Yeah, you can't. That's another reason why we're doomed, because you can't. That's going to die out. And I guess it has to. But in the process of passing the torch of fuckery, then that's what's left to be in charge. That's what's passed down. And then the cycles aren't broken. And everybody's entitled and enabled. Nobody's thinking anything through. Nobody can deal with anything different from what they initially set out to do. And all the same time, people are telling people that anybody that disagrees with them is their hater. Now, there are haters that are real. But what everybody being told is, if anybody is hit with anything sensible that doesn't fall in line with what their ideas, then they're just going to think everything goes into the hater box. Like constructive criticism included. At first, would you believe? It goes right into the hater box, or, you know, you raining on somebody's parade pretty much, which you are, you know, because criticism is not warm and fuzzy. And then at the same time, you can't offer unsolicited criticism either. That's my thing. When somebody actually puts it out there for critique and literally says, what do you think? And then whenever it doesn't agree with what they feel, that's just, you automatically a hater. That's a millennial mindset that's gonna endure, I think. And it's just a youth thing. That's why adults are always saying you can't tell them anything. It's a youth thing. We did it to a certain extent, I'm sure. I'm sure to a certain extent we probably did it too. If, at the risk of sounding like my mom and grandma, hard head, soft ass. And all of America is right now on its soft ass. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up. But I enjoyed you. I'm so glad you came through. As you can see, I would have just been in here talking to the camera. Which I can do, because I don't have no problem being with me. But I enjoyed you coming through. If I could, because I'm not allowed to do that. But if I could, I would do it in soil. And as soon as I do have the green light, I am going in, because, you know, I don't trust anything anywhere. And so why not? Right? You know, the handyman likes me to put him to work, and I'm just trying to get a brother to just relax. You know what I mean? But if we got the green light on that, bro, man. Yeah, I'm going to do it again. Allegedly. Gotta look at the calendar. Alright, boo. Have a good weekend. Stay lit. One day I'll figure out how to exit a video without looking like a goofball. Maybe I just hit the little X sign.